Our Bible word is Psalm 130, verses 5 and a portion of verse 6. I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in His word I do hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than those who watch for the morning. So Psalm 130, it's part of a collection of psalms that's known as the Song of Ascents. And these psalms are Psalms 120 to 136. And these were sung by pilgrims. And as they come to Jerusalem, they ascended up to the temple or to Jerusalem. And you can also read about that in Exodus 23 and Deuteronomy 16. So as they make their way up to Jerusalem, they would sing this Song of Ascents. And this psalm also forms part of the Hallel, or the Great Hallel Psalms. And the Great Hallel, that refers to Psalms 120 to 136. And of course, Hallel, it means praise. So songs of praise to God. And there are various Hallel collections. You also find the Egyptian Hallel, that's Psalms 113 to 118. That was sung especially during Passover. And there's also the concluding Hallel, that's Psalms 146 to 150. And they were also incorporated into the daily prayers of the synagogue after 70 AD. So our Psalm 130, it's part of the Song of Ascents. It's also part of the Great Hallel. And these were specific psalms, hymns of praise sung during pilgrimage festivals. And Psalm 130 in particular is what is called a penitential psalm. The two main categories of psalms is psalms of praise, also psalms of lament, where people cry out to God for help, and here's a penitential psalm. So it's feeling remorse, it's expressing the need for forgiveness. God, forgive me. And other penitential psalms is like Psalm 6, 32, 38, etc., as you see on the screen. And it's also quite similar to a lament of pouring your heart out to God. Help me, I'm in trouble. But here the emphasis is it's more penitential. It's remorse. It's God, I need your forgiveness. And Psalm 130 is composed of the following parts. There's the lament, that's verses 1 to 2. There's the confession of sin, that's verses 3 to 4. Then waiting for the Lord, and then the confidence of redemption in verses 7 to 8. And the psalm begins, and the metaphor is the person who brings this plea to God. It's as if he's on the sea or on water, the depths. And this symbolizes a place of alienation from God, a place of trouble. So in verse 1 it says, out of the depths, in other words, from the waters, this place of being separated from you, this place of trouble, I have cried to you, Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications. So that's the lament part. And now we come to the confession of sin. The psalmist says, I've done something wrong. But he also explains that where God is, there's mercy. Even the most godly needs God's mercy. And if there's not mercy for them, what hope does anybody have? So it says in verse 3, if you, Lord, should mark iniquities, O Lord, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with you, that you may be feared. So with God there's mercy. With God there's forgiveness. And now we come to our Bible word, and this is about waiting on the Lord. The psalmist says, I wait for the Lord. My soul waits, and in His word I do hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than those who watch for the morning. So he's patient, he's dependent on God, he trusts in God. God's mercy will be revealed to him, and he will wait for the Lord more than those who keep guard of the city, who has been at guard the whole night. And now they watch for the morning, those first rays of sunlight to come up, and they know, okay, now my guard duty is finished, I can go. But the psalmist says he's waiting more for the mercy of God than these guards of a city who's waiting for the morning to come so that they can go home and rest. So he has this trust and confidence, this longing for God, longing for God's mercy, but he's waiting for it, and his hope is in the Lord. Because there's also assurance God will redeem his people from their sins. And now the last portion, verses 7 to 8, is again, he expresses confidence in this redemption that he will experience. O Israel, hope in the Lord. As he himself is confident that the God will show him mercy, now he says to Israel, hope in the Lord. The Lord will also show mercy on you, Israel. For with the Lord there is mercy, and with him is abundant redemption, and he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. So Psalm 130, it's a psalm that's also the people, the pilgrims, they come to Jerusalem. There's also a recognition we also need God's grace. We need God's mercy and his forgiveness. So this is a penitential psalm. So it's an imploring God. God, show your mercy on us.